Hello, welcome back for our next and final episode of Animus Violentas. I am both sad that the season's over and excited to see how you all are gonna set everything on fire to send it off. um, before we jump,
I'm so excited.
before we jump into the action and everything, let's say a few words about our sponsors. Let everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll jump in. So our sponsors are Fundamental RPG. It is the system that Animus runs on. It's a simple D20 system, and it's actually not tied to a genre, so you can use it for sci-fi like we're doing here, or high fantasy, or really anything in between. You can find the physical copies, which look like this, over on Amazon. Or if you want a digital version, you can pick that up at coffee.com/Raven, like it's spelled, at the bottom left and top left corners of the screen. Also, go check out Die Hard Dice at dieharddice.com. They are an amazing company, and they sell some of the best polymer and metal die sets and accessories I've ever used. I use them almost exclusively in my dice bag. But if you use the code Animus with a capital A, normally you can get 10% off of your order, but for the next day, I think it ends tomorrow, you can get 15% off of your order for a little extra discount for the holidays. So very cool. And then I highly recommend the Avalor Isa Lifeblood set. The Avalor design is really cool. It's got the pointy parts on the D6 and the D4. They're sort of shaved in a certain way, which gives it this really sort of unique look. You can kind of see it a bit on my black feather set here, which is also an Avalor design. It's a little hard to see on the camera, but there is a link in chat that will let you see the dice directly, and they are a clear set with red numbers that look really pretty. And then that's it for sponsors. Then if you want to catch up on this series, or any other show that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network, or over on our YouTube channel at just go to YouTube, search for Black Feather Guild, and it'll pop right up as the first result. And you'll want to make sure to subscribe and click the little alert button, because next season there will be YouTube exclusive streams, so you don't want to miss out on those. That out of the way, let's start with introductions at the top left with B. Tell us a little bit about New Skeeter and yourself.
Well, I'm John Belliston, or Troll and Prettiest Princess, because you are what you eat. I am a writer for the Neon Devils webcomic that I'm very consistent about never having the link prepared. And I am consistent. That's what I'm calling it. This is a consistency thing, and not I'm just bad at my one job.
I got you covered.
Thank you. That's basically what I got doing. I do some stuff around here. I think I'm going to be in some stuff next season, so I'm pretty excited for that. New Skater is he's a redneck computer virus. He was made by old Skeeter, who's dead now. But calling him dead Skeeter, that just this ain't proper respectful. So it's old Skeeter. Used to call him Pa because made him happy because he because he was just sort of the guy there, and he kind of made him by accident. And now he's just sort of a computer virus looking to get some stuff so he can control more things, because that's what he's really good at, is controlling stuff. And, doing things and whatnot, and maybe, starting a little war. You know what I mean? Just, like you do. Some people go mudding. I guess I start wars.
Oh my gosh. Next we've got V. Tell us a little bit about Alice and yourself.
Hi there, I'm V, or Vanessa. I'm an artist. I work primarily in watercolor and pencil sketch, as well as digital art. And I have an art Twitter. If you'd like to check out any of my work, you can certainly do so, which is at PepperoDraws. That's pepper like the candy. And it's just below my name card there in the corner, if you're unsure of the spelling. And I play Alice. and I almost said Annie, but Annie is next season.
Give
Alice,
it a few weeks for Annie.
Yeah, give it a few weeks. Although, funnily enough, Alice does kind of lap over with Annie a little bit. They do know each other, which is actually how Alice came into being in the first place. So, fun fact, I guess. But he is kind of like a counterpart to Annie in some ways, where Annie, she kind of has taken on this Robin Hood kind of feel of, instead of stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, it's steal from the rich and sell to the slightly less rich. So she causes chaos that way. Alice, on the other hand, is a steal from the rich and give it to the people who will put them on blast, which is why he tends to work with people like the trash pandas. So he'll take whatever information he can gather and put that in their hands, and away they go. They can do whatever the hell they want with that and cause the most trouble that they can. But he's really good at working on machines. I like to think that he and New Skeeter are going to be, very interesting additions to the Animus setting. I don't know if they're going to work together, seeing as New Skeeter is, maybe a little more hell-bent on war than Alice is. But we'll see.
Awesome. Next.
Hey, he's only into work because he's bored. If you find some way to keep him not bored, then hey, I'm open.
Oh my goodness. Next we would normally have Par, who plays Maximilian. The character is currently in the infirmary after almost dying last session. Got away with like 1 hit point above the all the way dead level of dead. But unfortunately, Par can't join us yet. Hopefully we'll be able to get Par in before the end of the episode. But go check out Par's stuff at Par Professional on Twitter, because he's fantastic and he has a really cool podcast. Next, we've got Econorlax. Tell us a little bit about Android and yourself.
Hey. Hello, I'm Animus. I play TRPGs if whoever of the wonderful people of Twitch will have me when my mental health lets me. Same goes for other stuff like tinkering or streaming. I think I used up all my spoons for 2021 already. So I hope I will have more to say about me when I hit 2022 allotment of spoons. I'm playing an onboard android of this fine cruiser who once was a cop but is not anymore, and I'm talking about cruiser, but same goes for me. So Captain New Skeeter came and upgraded me with gratuitous use of delete button, and now I'm Android McGee. I like helping the crew and learning how to be my own person. I'm still pretty much on being a person 101. But this character with this crew is all about first chapters of all manuals. So, for example, how to live your life. We pretty much constantly stuck on lesson 1, don't die. That's Android McGee.
Awesome. Next, we've got Goody. Tell us a little bit about Ambrose and yourself.
Well, without mincing words, Ambrose is a cult leader. And not a nice one. He's a bad cult leader, and I'm not sure if there are good cult leaders, but he's a bad one. But his cult doesn't really know that, or they don't care. And he is kind of the big pot stirrer with the whole war going on. And he just really wants to see the universe burn at this point. He loves money above pretty much anything else, and he hates that the corporations have more than him, and he doesn't think they deserve it, so they just need to go kill each other, and he can watch. So, and I am also in the Animus Absentis crew with V. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch what happens to us after this whole thing. My character is going to hate New Skeeter. I can tell you that. But yeah, it should be fun. So
Awesome.
I also have my own Stanley Tucci.
That is true. You do. He didn't die.
He didn't die. Good for him.
The dice were gracious enough last session to be like, nope, he didn't die.
Yay! I'd have to go get a new one. And do you know how expensive a Stanley Tucci is?
I'd imagine it in the millions per movie, at least.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Fantastic. That just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do. Excuse me, most of which are tabletop related. My link tree is there in chat, and then I play everybody else in the galaxy. Excuse me, including Tom Stryker, who is going to be your head of security as you head into Tavos Beta, which is on one of the extreme ends of inhabited space. Excuse me. So you've escaped from Pillar narrowly, and everybody lived. Maximilian is currently in the infirmary, stabilized, but obviously in pretty bad shape. But you've successfully made several jumps, and you're on your way to the planet. Is there anything that you want to do in transit to prepare for this meeting with Quince? Excuse me.
I want to prep a little skeeter egg. A little bioweapon.
You're in the sharing mood.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get some engineering tech rolls going for that.
Okay.
Let's do a set of 3.
Right. First one. 24.
Good solid roll.
Okay. Second one is 12 less solid.
Less solid, but not bad.
Not bad. And
20. So that's a collective 56.
56.
So the 56, yeah, it's okay. It's not quite as subtle as the last one. It might take the timer on it might be a little less predictable.
Okay.
But you effectively get what you want done.
Excellent.
How about everyone else? Anything you want to do to prepare?
Am I all healed up from being shot?
Yeah, it's probably, kind of sore, but you have all your hit points back by this point. You've had a whole evening to sleep.
Okay, I'll put that back then. Yay.
Excuse me.
I can't think of anything I need to do.
All right. Well then, if there's nothing anybody wants to do in transit, then we'll have you. We'll fast forward to when you arrive at the planet. There are Vizco and Pezos ships, sort of on opposite sides of the planet, not in orbit, but you can definitely see there's skirmishes happening off and on. So there's a lot of warships around the planet.
Pezos is in it now too?
So this is way out on the rim, so they can't have all out, or they're not supposed to have all out war with one another normally. But little skirmishes over border or rim. That was weird. There's just audio from somewhere. That was weird. Sorry. So it's on the rim, so they can have skirmishes with one another and kind of minor fights over resources to try to claim a planet. And that's kind of what's happening. So the corporate laws, technically they're not supposed to have wars with each other, but they find ways around that on the rims.
So is this meaning taking place on this planet?
on and around the planet.
But we are supposed to be landing somewhere.
Yes, so the location is on the planet where you're supposed to meet with someone from Quince. Would you like to... would you like to land directly, talk to any of the ships in the area, or something else?
Well, technically, I wouldn't land a ship without first being ordered to, because, well, the situation, it's not like we are not responsible for this, but situation has been changing quickly recently. So maybe we need to analyze the situation and proceed accordingly first. But nothing is going in vicinity of the ship. There's no shooting exactly here and now.
Yeah, nobody's shooting at you or anyone on either side of you at the moment. But you can see evidence of skirmishes. You can see ships sort of forming front lines, so to speak, around the planet. And there are some minor skirmishes happening on the planet, but it's not like a full-on war zone.
I report this to the captain and the rest of the crew. That doesn't look very safe. Are we still doing this?
Well, you want money, right? Is that one of the things? I know I just want them command codes. I got enough from the other things, so
We have business on that planet. I think we should land. I'm not one to stand someone up.
I think we should probably keep the ship kind of ready to go. You know?
Yes.
Well, not be a bad,
And this guy running security for us is waiting on for the crew on the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe we should contact him. That we've arrived.
I could contact him. No problem.
sound good to me.
All right, so you are able to contact him. He answers the comm and says, Reverend, great to see ya.
Good to see you too, friend. Now, it's looking a little dicey around the planet. Is it safe to land?
Oh yeah, it's fine. Just don't fly any Vizco or Pezos colors. Because what you're seeing all around you. But if you're a neutral ship, you should be fine. Just maybe don't get too close to him either.
We got a unicorn fighting a wizard on our ship. I think we're fine.
I'm sorry, you got a what on your ship?
Don't worry about it. You'll see it when we get there.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's all right. It's all right.
We'll be landing. We'll see you in about 5 minutes.
Right. 10-4. See you when you get here. We'll have the landing pad secured for you. And call ends, and you are able to get to your destination without too much issue. As you start to enter the atmosphere, well,
You good?
I think so. My roommate has a friend over, and I know they're making dinner, so I'm gonna guess maybe some cans dropped or something. That was really loud.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes.
Anyways, sorry about that. As you're flying over the planet, you can see signs of battle and war and things like that, as well as evidence of just kind of extreme strip mining. The planet looks rough. But aside from a few small arms fire exchanges that happen sort of near you on the ground, having some bullets fly up past your window. Everything's pretty smooth, and you are able to land at the landing zone, which has several people in sort of... they kind of look like corporate uniforms, but they're absent of any logos or patches or insignias or anything like that. There are probably a dozen other guys like that, sort of forming a perimeter at the landing zone, along with one person sort of in the middle of the landing zone, wearing a very military-looking uniform, like a military officer, but again, doesn't have any patches, really, or insignias or anything like that. And you are able to land the ship. Not too far away from the landing zone is a... it could function as a bunker, but it also looks like it's just like a mining operation office building. But it looks like a very secured building. So that's kind of what you see. What would you like to do from here?
Is there any networks I can connect to?
Yes. There is like a basic Wi-Fi signal coming from the bunker.
Okay.
It's like the guest network, but there is a connection.
Okay. Do I have to make a roll to connect to it, or?
No, you can connect that one. If you do, you have kind of access to like a reception computer.
Okay.
There's not much on it, but it's also not very tightly secured. You could potentially connect to other things from there if you wanted to try.
I think I do. I do think I want to copy everything on it first. Just maybe set up some. Maybe send it to Android to do some kind of like keyword analysis to see if there's anything interesting there.
Okay. You can.
And then yes, I am
absolutely
going
do
to be trying to connect to anything I possibly can, because this is Skeeter that we're talking about here.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead and make an engineering tech roll, and then 12.
Bad.
You try to connect through there, and you're like, these are some pretty tough firewalls. Maybe I should like hardwire in when we get inside.
Okay, that sounds good.
But you do get the whole reception computer, and you're able to send that to Android.
We're looking for anything. Just looking for anything interesting. You can find it. Like just stuff about the. Mostly looking for things about what's going on here and inconsistencies in their in what they're talking about. Because generally, these things, if they start what's the word? If they start getting inconsistent, like they start saying two different things, it means they're usually trying to cover something up. And, that's a good thing to know. So.
I will keep my eye open on the via ship sensors too.
Sounds perfect. Doing great.
Awesome. Could I get a let's go with an education roll to kind of sift through some of the keywords and things like that in that data. For Android for an education role for the keywords?
I mean, I'm not a smart computer, but
19. Okay, that is still plenty. So you're able to go through, and you can see that this used to be a reception computer for Pezos. The logs kind of show that this was a kind of like a fancy conference room. Essentially, Pezos management would come here to have meetings and talk with people on the ground because it was secured, and then would send them out back to their mines or little skirmish areas with instructions and things like that. It's been abandoned since Vizco started making advancements, and has also sort of losing these skirmishes. And so as far as what territory is whose, this is kind of sort of Vizco's territory now. But the building seems to have been abandoned for several months.
I relay that information that it's mostly a no man's land in corporational war and good place for a meeting.
Yeah. All right. How about Alice and Ambrose? What are you thinking? What do you want to do now that you've landed?
Ask Skeeter if he wants code from them too.
Yep.
All right.
It's me.
Hopefully they don't try to blow us up when I ask for that too.
Well, I'm fairly certain I can get pretty swift vengeance going on, you know?
Yeah, but I'm not big on missiles being hurled at my ass. Are you fair?
That's fair. That's fair. I can respect that. I can respect that.
What about you, Alice? You coming along?
So Alice came in at the tail end of whatever shit show we just left. So I, the player, not sure what we're doing here.
Oh, we are trying to sell information and or extort some people.
And stir the pot.
Yeah. We are trying to make things worse. That
So-
is what we're doing.
It's an average Sunday, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tuesday.
It's kind of
Gotcha.
like a blackmail, but without a positive scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
So
what do you want?
essentially shit that Alice is pretty well versed with. Okay.
You also know that you're trying to sell this information to Quince, which is like the Windows of this, or Microsoft rather, of this setting.
Okay.
Oh, then we really need to blow them.
I'm going to essentially, I guess, hold action. I think Alice is just gonna vibe and see where this goes, because this could go, knowing this crew, any number of directions. So I think he's maybe just a little more interested in seeing where we start to go first, and then he'll jump in with some suggestions, I think.
I can respect that.
All right. Well, then, what is the order of people getting off the ship? Not that that's important for any reason.
Is Skeeter coming again? Or no, he didn't come last time.
Yeah, he didn't come last time. I think he is going to come in to, because I want to get to a hard points to check out the systems.
You want to go in my bag again?
Yeah, somewhere I can sneak out of easy.
Okay, yeah. Hop in my bag.
And since Android, it worked pretty well last time with Android covering fire, so with the ship, so I will stay with ship, I think.
That would be
Unless you want muscle, but this time you have like your friend providing security, so
Yeah, we've got a buddy there for us, so ship security would be great though.
All right.
I'm holding the fort.
Heck yeah.
All right. So we've got Ambrose walking out with New Skeeter in the bag. Max is in the infirmary for now. Android's taking care of ship security, and is Alice following Ambrose off the ship?
Yes.
All right. Well then, as you all get off the ship,
Do I have Max's folder of people he wants fired from this company too?
Sure. Yeah, that's
Cool.
totally fine. So yeah, you walk off the ship, and Ambrose, since you're in front, the person that's in the middle of the landing pad, the one with the like military officer looking uniform, just sort of strides right over to you, and that's a very confident sort of casual stride to the man, and he just grabs your hand in a very firm handshake, like the kind where you grab the person's wrist.
Oh yeah, yeah.
To shake it. It's just very friendly, energetic handshake. It's like, Reverend, it is great to meet you in person. How was your flight?
You know what, hombre? It was just fantastic, and it is great to see your face in person too, friend.
He's like, it's always nice to be seen. Well, my new friends here are going to make sure that the landing pad stays secure and that your guests are able to get into the bunker. Is there anything else that you need security-wise or shipment-wise, or he sort of makes a hand gesture of like to indicate some sort of shady business-wise?
Yeah, keep an eye out for snipers. Had a little problem last time.
He just grins wide and he's like, oh, don't worry about snipers. I've got a little toy to take care of that.
Perfect.
And he shows you this little remote control and kind of points to something it's just in front of each one of those men that are around the perimeter of the landing zone. Could I get a sight roll from Ambrose and Alice if you'd like? And Skeeter too, if your head's poking out of the bag, I guess.
Yeah. Well, if nothing else, I've got all my.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I got all my other senses. My other.
My
senses.
sunglasses were too dark.
A nat 1 and then a nat 20.
That's all right. I got you covered.
Yeah, buddy.
So I don't know. Maybe one of the mercenaries. Oh, and nat 20 for Skeeter too. So yeah, maybe one of the mercenaries has like a really nice butt or something, but Ambrose is
distracted.
distracted by something.
Well, hello there.
You don't see what Tom is pointing out, but Alice and New Skeeter, you can see that they have force field generators, or not generators, but like emitters. So it's like a sort of portable energy shelter, essentially. So, New Skeeter, you've probably seen these with your just literal consumption of knowledge.
Well, and then just like that seems like the sort of thing that you'd run into with a lot of the high-end mining and the mining and all that sort of stuff. You would definitely need those kinds of little shelters would keep people alive.
Yeah.
So
Gotta get some of those for my compound.
yeah, probably not like nice ones, but he might have some of the command codes for those.
Possibly.
I think there's a very real chance there. Yeah.
And then for Alice, you've seen the Trash Pandas use these for like guerrilla warfare a ton. And you can tell that these are top quality ones because they look a lot nicer than what you've seen your friends run around with.
Well, we're probably stealing one.
But you both know that there's enough there to cover the bunker and the whole landing pad with a force shield that would keep out standard bullets and that sort of ordnance. And so yeah, Captain Stryker just sort of looks at Ambrose and Alice. I don't think he's noticed Skeeter yet, but he looks at the two of you. Just says, "Yeah, can you believe these idiots? They just left all these emitters in the building. The big corporate guys, they always leave stuff behind. It's really funny what you can find."
I need to get over and check those things for booby traps like right now.
You could absolutely do so. Go ahead and make a. Let's do a engineering mechanical roll. 16. Yeah, they all seem to be perfectly working condition.
Okay.
There's no sign at all of any kind of foul play.
Okay.
And you do recall from some readings, perhaps, that it is pretty common for corporate to waste a lot with things like this.
Yeah.
So you feel pretty confident that they work properly and that there's nothing like tricky going on with them.
Yeah.
Captain Stryker is like, got like one of those little Roomba things, but for checking out equipment. That's really cool. Did one of you build that?
No, he assembled himself.
Under his breath, Alice is just like, "Oh no!"
He assembled himself in his daddy's image.
Oh, interesting. So is it AI?
Yes. Skeeter is Skeeter.
He just seems very fascinated by that. And so when new Skeeter comes back from checking out the equipment, he's like, "Oh, hey there, little guy. I didn't know you were
The hell you call a little guy?
I'm just saying I'm
I don't know you.
comparatively speaking, I have more mass than you do."
That's my purse.
Ooh, look, Mr. Organic, like I'm bigger than you. I can call you little now. How much code you got on you? None.
He sort of squats down and leans in close. He's like, "Oh, what kind of code you need?"
Anything that can command something to do another thing.
He's
Like
like,
for command code. The command code is particularly for, like your machineries, your doors, your computers, your,
Fancy
less
force
than
fields.
fancy force fields. Yeah.
sort of thinks for a moment and strokes his chin. He's like, I think my second cousin's sister's boyfriend's child has something that might work for you there. He sort of taps the side of his nose like it's some sort of secret gesture. He's like, I'll make some phone calls. I'll see what I can find for you. We'll talk price
All right.
later.
All right.
What's a phone?
It's like a communicator thing.
Well, he's like a comm, but it's kind of a little bit more short range. You gotta usually connect them through like some the radio signals and wires and stuff. So, old Skeeter had to use them all the damn time because I mean, like real proper comm units, particularly when you got to pay for all this, like all the big equipment that he got, were way too expensive. So he kind of had to cheap out in a couple of places. And the biggest one was in the telecoms, looking around, which is interesting because eventually it turned out to just be me and him. We didn't really actually need the telecoms. We just needed some straight up plug me in there and we could talk just however. So.
Skeeter,
Yep.
get in the bag, please.
All right.
So during that rant, Captain Stryker seems to follow along with every word that Skeeter says and is just like nodding, like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's old slang. It's coming back, but they're basically. I'll make a calm call. Anyways,
And now Ambrose whispers to Skeeter, Skeeter, how old are you?
That is a very complicated question because of time.
What's your date
Space.
of origin?
That's a complicated question because depends on which. That's a complicated question.
What do you know when old Skeeter died?
Not recently, but more recently than now.
at this
Wait, what?
conversation, Captain Stryker does the finger guns at Ambrose's bag. So basically in the direction of Skeeter. The new Skeeter, he's like, oh yeah, and friends and family discount. I like the way you talk. You've got a future in
All right.
the business that I do, which is a legitimate business and not at all smuggling.
Oh, I know a lot about legitimate businesses that are very, very truly and purely legitimate businesses.
Oh, I think we're all legitimate business
Yes,
people.
this is
here.
all we are founding legitimate businessing.
He's like,
all
that
above
is
water here.
excellent and fascinating. I have talked your ears off long enough, though. I should get you in to your meeting room, but we'll talk later. And he starts to escort you into the building, but like half turns around, walking backwards for a second, and looks at Skeeter or the bag, depending on how out of the bag Skeeter is. Just makes like the little thumb and pinky finger like phone call gestures, like call me, and then turns back
uses
around.
one of his little bug hands.
I love that. And he spins around, and his coat, his like military-looking coat, sort of flows very nicely as he does. And he walks.
That's
into
weird,
the building.
dude. I think I like him.
And yeah, he holds the door open for Ambrose and New Skeeter and Alice. Do you enter?
Man, why did you ask that?
I mean, I just need to know where you're going. There's no reason.
That was the most suspicious reasoning I have ever heard in my life. And you've said some pretty fucking suspicious things. What the hell was that?
What do I do to check for plot traps?
What can I roll to see if the DM is bullshitting?
Gut feeling is the skill for that one.
Okay, gut feeling. Hey, I got a 19 on my gut feeling roll.
Sometimes a question of are you going inside is just a question of are you going inside. That's what you.
fair.
Where else
Sometimes
would
it
we
is
go?
Raven. Sometimes.
We
And
literally
sometimes
came
it's
here
not.
for one purpose. Why wouldn't we go to that purpose?
You never know. Then maybe
Have you met us? I mean,
that's why I ask. I'm like, I don't know. You all are Agents Chaos. You could decide, like, you know what? On second thought, we're gonna have the meeting outside.
we have it outside.
Weather's nice.
I'm also gonna go and carpet bomb something nearby. Just,
Jupiter.
Something to do. Yes, carpet bomb Jupiter. Wait, is that off the table?
that is
is that
on.
the
That is
table
a
now?
thing that you technically can do.
Okay. Good to know. Like to know my options.
Anyways, as you go into the building, the door is a heavily secured door. It's reinforced. It's armored. It's a bunker. But once you get inside, it looks very much like a corporate office. The reception area is, functional and pleasant enough, in a sort of bland beige sort of way. And there's a little reception area, a little seating area, a little refrigerator, which surprisingly is on and cold and has like bottled water and things like that inside of it. And then there is a doorway from there that goes to some like military missile silo looking sort of stairs, sort of a spiral staircase that goes down. And down there are a number of different rooms, but there is a main conference room that Tom has set up for you, with a projector and really nice chairs and a big mahogany conference table, and basically anything that you would need to entertain and discuss business with Quince. And he points everything out. Is there anything that you want to do before Quince gets here?
Yes. A moment after they disappeared inside, Android would connect privately to Skeeter, like not in audio communications, like purely digital way, like checking if the building, if we have like a backup channel of communication or if the building blocks that.
I think we'd almost definitely have set that up, like because we can do faster communications.
Yeah, it's simply
So-
like if we have that backup or is the building blocking it.
It's a good question. If you're trying to just connect short range, once anybody goes downstairs in the bunker, it doesn't really work. But if you relay it through the network in the bunker,
Yeah,
it
I
works
was
just
gonna say,
fine.
could I relay it through the Wi-Fi so that we have a regular line of communication?
Yeah. You
Are
are
you make
able.
a roll for that, or
No, that's just something that you're
Okay.
able to set up through
Okay,
the guest network.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have communication. Everything's fine on this end still, for now.
Yeah. Nothing's wrong with your ability to communicate.
Yeah, Android is simply like used to fact something goes wrong at some point.
I mean, that's fair. that's more than fair. Okay.
So I keep scanning, and it's all from me now. For now.
All right. Anything else that you want to do before Quince gets here and you start having negotiations?
I'm gonna sit at the head of the table.
All right.
I'm
You
gonna
are
hide beneath the table.
perfect. Ambrose, you've got like the fanciest leather chair because it's at
Good.
the head of the table. It is extremely comfortable. It's got like a back warmer,
yeah.
a little silent like lumbar vibrate option, so you can get like a little back massage while you're sitting there. Cup holder, little like Bluetooth kind of remotes for the lights and the projector and stuff in the room. It's like a captain's chair,
Hell yeah.
but for an executive. The rest of the chairs are fine enough. They're all designed to sit lower than the one at the head of the table. And Tom just sort of walks up to one and sort of steps over the chair and then sits down in a very flashy, cool kind of way. And sits to your right. How about Alice? Are you sitting? And if so, where?
Yeah. Why doesn't Alice get a cool chair? I don't think he's too beat up about it. Yeah, he'll sit on the other side then.
Okay. And as you're waiting for Quince to show up, Captain Stryker just sort of looks back and forth between the two of you and is kind of leaned forward, elbows resting on the table. He kind of leans in a little bit further, speaking kind of quietly. He's like, "So, this is exciting. What are you meeting about out here? This is definitely an unusual location for a corporate deal."
We're selling stuff, and we want it on more neutral territory.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. One of those not exactly by the corporate book kind of business deals going on.
Oh, well, it's just information that may or may not have been obtained legally and may have some severe ramifications.
Oh. That's very special kind of information.
Yep, it's valuable information.
Like, all right, well, good to know. And he pulls a tablet out of one of the inside coat pockets on his jacket and types something into it, sends it off. He's like, knowing that information, I'm just gonna give the boys a little bit of a bonus and tell them to keep an extra eye out.
Good idea.
And he spends the next several minutes asking, like, not invasive questions, but also just sort of slightly nosy questions in a very friendly kind of way. Excuse me. Do you all sort of like humor him and give him some vague answers and kind of deflect? Or do you get annoyed enough to actually say something about it?
Ambrose would probably say something like, "You really like asking questions above your pay grade, don't you?"
Oh, I don't like to talk about my pay grade. I just kind of like, getting to know people. You all seem really friendly and interesting, and I'm a people person.
Interesting, maybe. I don't know if I'd go so far as friendly. Alice over there's pretty friendly, but
And at that, he turns to Alice and just like full on flirty wink. He's like, friendly, huh? Good to know.
Alice also returns just like this big shit-eating grin and just like winks.
Awesome. And Captain Stryker
Peter
leans
shakes
in.
his head. Goddamn organics. Doesn't say anything. Goddamn organics.
Captain Stryker leans
Fluids.
into Ambrose and whispers way too loudly to actually be quiet, and just goes, he's not too bad on the eyes either.
I know he's a pretty boy, isn't he?
And he sort of looks at Alice and makes the phone gesture again. He's like, you also call me different reasons.
Alice just kind of shakes his head good-naturedly, and he's like, "Oh, keep it in mind." Man straight as a whip, but he does not mind being flirted with at all. Like, he will just take attention. He's that kind of person. Like, he doesn't care who it's coming from. If you're friendly, you're friendly. He'll go with it.
It is very obvious that this man flirts with a lot of people and is very, very queer.
Well, at this point, Captain, I'm just going to start getting offended. You've paid more attention romantically to a little virus robot in my bag.
Excuse me. He looks over at Ambrose like,
Oh, fair, I'm way cuter.
Yeah.
Like, well, you see, there's business interest, and then there's interest. It's not to be confused with banking interest, which is a whole different complicated thing. But there's definitely more
You want to
than.
be my sugar baby, honey?
Wow, forward. I like that. The answer is not no. He sort of does a singular finger gun at you. Like,
Almost bisexual finger guns. I'll get there eventually.
You have to work your way up to both finger guns.
I guess.
Right now, you're just sitting at a solid 1.
I'm sitting a solid. Yeah, great.
he's like, well, just this didn't seem to warrant a full on finger gun. Didn't want to be too clingy. Have 2 finger guns with this conversation. I'm kidding and rambling. Anyways, he continues to be very flirtatious, and eventually, Android, you are on the ship's sensors. You can see that the Quench ship is showing up, and it looks like a very sleek and brand new and very agile sort of shuttle. And they land, and it's fully Quince branded. Looks very flashy,
but not heavily armored. Like it's more like a passenger ship than a warship.
correct.
Is it less so than like what Pillar showed up in?
Yeah, a Pillar showed up in something that didn't really have much in the way of weapons either. Their shuttle, but this one definitely looks a lot more flashy and commercial.
Fair.
You can tell that this one does have some weapons, but it's not. They're like very defensive in nature, not something you'd start a war with.
I take advantage of like having a digital connection, and I relay information to Captain in the form of picture. Fancy ship, Captain.
All right. Well, that doesn't have me too worried. You see if they got anything up in space? Anything else there? Is it just the one ship?
If you
Do I see anything on the like radars or stuff or sensors?
If you sort of zoom out, you can see on the sensors that there is a Quince ship in orbit. of the planet. That is much more of a military ship. But it's not like... doesn't seem to be bristling with weapons or armor. It definitely doesn't look like one that would be here to start a big fight or anything like that. And it's a smaller ship than what Pillar brought.
I relay the information too.
All right. Looks like exit might be a little easier.
Does Skeeter relay that information to the rest of us?
Yes.
Probably
Send them through comms or something, just to limit the number of
okay.
just the amount of ways that they could be overheard.
That's fair. Well, then in that case, everybody knows this information, and unless somebody wants to do something before people start coming in, we'll go ahead and pan over to that. The shuttle doors open, and out come a couple of people who are obviously bodyguards. And behind them is someone that looks sort of like a young executive. Like he's probably maybe 30, wearing very nice tailored suit pants and a very form-fitting dress shirt with a fancy sort of designer tie and a hoodie that looks like it costs more than most people's houses. Just in that it's very designer and trendy and obviously is there as like a statement piece. But yeah, he walks right out of the shuttle, looks at the two bodyguards and sort of snaps his finger and points to the door. And he and a couple of the mercenaries that you hired, along with the bodyguards, go into the entrance and make their way down to the conference room. As they come down, is there anything that you want to do to greet them? How do you want to do this?
Ambrose would just stand up, be polite.
Alice keeps his ass in his chair.
Skeeter stays attached to the bottom of the table.
All right. Captain Stryker seems to be checking the guy out, but also stands along with Ambrose. And he walks in the room and immediately goes over to Ambrose and holds a hand out and says, hi, yeah, I'm Timothy Winston. I understand you have some...
his name's Timothy.
It is. Timothy Winston, I understand you have some information you wish to broker.
Welcome, Mr. Winston. Shakes his hand.
Shakes your hand.
Please have a seat, and we will absolutely discuss this.
All right. Yeah, he shakes your hand. It's not an especially firm handshake. But he takes a seat and kind of leans back with putting his feet on the table sort of crossed, looking very, very casual. You can also see that his shoes are incredibly expensive dress shoes.
I was expecting him to be like Jordans.
You know what? I like that better. So yes, they will be basketball shoes.
But also incredibly expensive.
Yeah, like stupid expensive ones.
These cost $6,000.
They're extremely expensive basketball shoes that you would never ever wear to actually play basketball.
Dress sneakers, I believe.
Dress sneakers, yes.
They're dress sneakers.
They're Yeezys.
And he pulls out his little tablet from his he's like an inside hoodie pocket. He pulls that out and says, all right, let's talk about what you've got. Let's brainstorm. Let's come up with some figures and see what we can do.
Fantastic. Now, I assume you have seen the preview we sent you?
Yeah, real interesting stuff. Looks like Vizco's getting into some areas of research and development that are kind of edgy.
Oh, you have no idea. I mean, some might say edgy, some might say completely unethical.
One man's ethics is another man's treasure. It'll be fine. Let's talk numbers. What are you wanting for the full information?
Well, make me an offer.
It's a power move. I respect that. Let's start with you like write something down on the tablet, and he's got like a whiteboard program open essentially, and sort of sets it on the table and slides it over to you. Sort of skids across the top of the table. And it's like half of what Pillar offered you. It's, relatively speaking, a low number. It's like, we get tips on random things like this all the time. I mean, not quite like this, but there's a lot of information. It's a little hard to verify that all of it's true or there actually is more, so we're willing to risk it for that much money.
Now, sorry, out of character. Did we tell the pillar guy what we saw? Like, I think we told him what we saw, didn't we?
Yes, I believe so.
Didn't we give him some of the live streams?
Yeah.
That live stream, yeah.
Like, but like in the meeting, didn't we tell him specifically what the issue was?
Yeah, and Pillar did get all the information that you had as well.
Right.
Like that was
okay.
The exchange happened before the murderizing happened.
Right. Ambrose glances at the number, looks a little disappointed, and says, "Amigo, I'm not talking about some shady back alley stuff. I'm talking they have cloned brains in android bodies. And they're sending them out to die. We have proof on the ship. We retrieved one of the androids."
Have one of the androids. Would you be willing to include that in our deal here?
Not for this amount. He slides the thing back.
But he goes, "Oh, no. That's, of course, not for this amount. If you actually have one of the prototypes that you're willing to part with, now that changes our discussion quite a lot." He like does this weird thing where he takes the sleeve of his hoodie and wipes off the tablet like it's actually wiping off a dry erase board, but it's just digital.
Ambrose makes this face the whole time.
There's even like a little squeaky sound effect that happens. It's like a super realistic whiteboard simulator program.
That's what you went in on?
I need to access this and figure out what the hell's up with that program. Because that's weird.
I'll ask him, Skeeter. Shut up.
You absolutely can ask him about the program if you want to.
I'm hacking into it. Well, I don't care if he's asking. I'm hacking into it to see what the hell's up with that.
It's probably just like an app.
Wait. I think Robo Hobo would apply to that.
It would, but it's basically, even with that, you get hit with a like there's firewalls, and then there's like you just got hit with a house that's made of brick walls, and the brick walls are actually full houses, and they're iron plated.
Okay.
Like an insanely strong firewall.
That's a really weird thing to have on a tablet. That just makes it more suspicious, not any less.
Indeed.
It's a Black Ops whiteboard app.
So you essentially said you're telling Skeeter Raven that it's worth to break into it.
I mean, it could be.
It's a whiteboard app that turns his tablet into a gun.
You have to draw a realistic enough gun on the whiteboard, and then it functions as a gun.
Okay. Here's a quick question. Does he have any other devices on him, and are they connected to that tablet?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
They also have that same level of security on them if you try to connect to them.
Ambrose is just like, oh my god, Skeeter, I can just ask him.
Oh, I'm not telling the Reverend what I'm doing.
Right.
Also, you might also not be quite as suspicious about this because it is a representative of Quince, which is like the computer company in the galaxy. So all of their executives, even like junior ones and interns, have like ridiculous amounts of security on their devices.
That makes sense. That does kind of make me want to still try and do it though.
You can absolutely keep
just out of
trying.
spite.
Yeah, you can absolutely keep trying up until probably a nat 1 that would have consequences, but for now, just poking at it doesn't seem to do anything.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make another roll. Let me know when I can do another. That's plus my 5 for Robo Hobo. So
okay,
it's 28.
Yeah, you're still getting like you're making scratches, but it's like trying to break down a brick wall with a spoon. But he wipes it off. It makes the squeaky noise, and he writes a much larger number on there. He's like, well, here we could do this in cash, stock options. He writes a couple more numbers in there. And he pulls up a list. It's like a spreadsheet, and you can make a site roll to see if you can see more. But just at a glance, you can see it looks like business names with short little descriptions next to them. Would you like to try to see more while he's looking at it? Or just wait for him to tell you something? Are you muted there, Goody?
I am muted. Okay, I'll try to see. It probably won't go very well, but we'll try. 20.
With a 20? Yeah, you can kind of, lift your neck a little bit to get a little closer look. And it looks like a list of businesses of various types with little descriptions. And near as you can figure, these are businesses that Quince owns. And he's sort of flipping through this spreadsheet. It's like, I don't know. Have you ever thought about going into business, like running your own business?
I do currently own a sort of business.
Oh, cool. What field would you be interested in? What? Assuming you like what you do, what is it what field are you in?
I suppose you could say I'm in the field of religion.
MLMs. Yeah, we got plenty of those. He like scrolls to a different section. He's like let's see. We got energy drinks. We've got. He lists a whole bunch of like stereotypical MLM products and stuff.
Anything that might be considered holistic.
Oh yeah, we got one of those. How do you feel about owning Holistico?
What do they sell?
Holistic miracle cure type stuff.
Perfect.
Like, we'll throw in the business. We'll have to do some paperwork, shift some people around, but we'll get you majority share in the company and get you installed as CEO within a month. Would that work for you?
Fantastic. And also, just one tiny request. And he reaches into his bag and pulls out the folder of Max's people he wants fired. Or moved around, however. And slides it to the CEO. My dear comatose friend had the request that these people be dealt with.
He takes the list, looks through, is like, oh yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Never really liked that person anyways. Oh, that's my brother-in-law. That's going to be awkward at Christmas. Yeah, I can get this taken care of.
Oh, he'll be so happy. Maybe he'll wake up.
And now what I imagine is the heart is going to be the hard cell. Skeeter.
Now, there's one last tiny little request.
All right. Yep. Lay it on
Now,
me.
I need command codes. Now, nothing priority, nothing secretive, nothing like that. Just general command codes.
Command codes for anything specific?
In the through the comm, Skeeter's going to say basically anything that interfaces with an actual physical, like a physical device, not like
Okay.
you know.
Anything that interacts with something physical.
Might have to compromise on that one. Hold on a second. Let me make a quick phone call.
Mm-hmm. There's that phone word again. I guess it is becoming popular.
And he pulls out a device. It's basically like a smartphone. And he makes a phone call. Kind of just holds up a finger, not in like a really like smarmy, rude way, but just say sort of like apologetic. Yeah, one sec.
Yeah.
And talk to somebody on the other end. He's like, yeah, and we still have the codes for the SME project. Okay. Yep. No, nothing wrong with it. I just need a copy of those. It's for a new startup. No, we'll take all the SME stuff off of it. Don't worry. All right, cool. Thanks. Like, yep, that will be. It hangs up the phone and looks at you. He's like, yep, that'll be in my email here very shortly. Can't give you the command codes for our proprietary stuff, obviously, but we just did a big security project for SME, and well, have a feeling it's, well, letting you in on that little secret isn't going to cost us much in the long run.
And it's Christmas for Skeeter.
Sounds like an absolutely all right compromise to me, friend.
Could not agree more. I think this is going to be the start of a wonderful business relationship. It's like, is there anything else that you want?
I don't believe so, unless my friend Alice here has anything he'd like to add.
That is a good question. What would Alice want? Well, since we live in the town of working for the Trash Pandas, Alice probably asks for anything that they could provide on other companies that might do some harm, but should that information fall into someone else's hands, maybe not immediately trace back to them as being the people who spilled the beans. Because Alice knows that they won't give them anything specific. Like if you're the only person who knows something and then that leaks out, then obviously people are going to know where that came from. So is there any like network information within the confines of bigger structures, like the bigger companies that they could provide him that he can pass along and do some damage with?
Yeah, he looks through a couple of like little folders that he has in a bag with him. Like, yeah, we really aren't supposed to do that sort of thing. I really don't think that I could meet that request. That falls under like corporate espionage stuff, and that's It's a real gray area. We wouldn't really want to get hit with those fines, and you don't want to get caught in the middle of that either. So I think I'm gonna have to pass on that one. And he's sorting through folders the whole time that he's saying all of this. And there's a stack on the table, and he picks up the stack, but there's one at the very bottom that doesn't get scooped up. He puts the rest back in his bag and seems to act like he has no idea there's another folder on the table. But he does make eye contact with you, Alice.
Alice just gives a small nod, like, I can respect your tenacity. I suppose if that's all you can do, then in a case like this, perhaps I'll have to understand. And then he just winks.
He's like, it's nice to see other people in this galaxy who know how business works and are so understanding. He goes to stand up, leaving the folder on the table. He says, right, well, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a look at that prototype. Go ahead and transfer that over to my shuttle. And then everything that I mentioned will be handled shortly. I assume Ambrose gave Quince the account number to send money to, yeah?
Yeah, also, what was the new number?
I don't think I had a set number.
Well, are we talking as high as what Pillar gave us?
Yeah,
less?
a little less than that.
Okay.
But the company's also worth to do a modern day equivalent would be worth 4 million.
Sweet. Okay, yeah, deal.
Will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, except
They'll
this
get
time,
feedback.
yeah, so have it transferred to my normal account, and then I'll have Stanley Tucci transfer it to my Swiss bank account.
All right. So yeah, he looks at you and says, yep, that money's already been wired to your account. You should see it there now.
And the code?
He opens up his tablet. Hold on a second. Yep, there it is. Email just came through. He forwards it to an email address that New Skeeter can access. That takes care of that. And I'll see to the employees and getting you set up as owner of the Ballistico. Preliminary things we'll have done within the week. We'll have you fully set up as CEO within the month.
Fantastic. Pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Likewise. Now then, I'm very, you can imagine, very busy playing catch up with this long trip out here to the Rim. So I would like to see that prototype as soon as possible.
Certainly, send a couple of your men onto our ship, and we'll send them on their way.
Perfect. He looks to his.
He's quite heavy.
Oh, I'm sure they can handle it. He looks to those two bodyguards and says, if you would go to the ship and retrieve our new purchase.
Then Ambrose would message Android McGee and say, there's two people coming, direct them to the prototype and make sure they get it safely. And don't let them do anything hinky on the ship.
Okay, I will simply... The safest option will be simply to transfer the android at the door.
Okay.
So I go to the... it was in Ambrose's quarters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I had it.
Scoop it up and carry to the door.
Awesome.
Waiting for guests.
You are able to do so easily. They walk up and after confirming that it's okay, they will sort of hook arms with it. So one on either side. And they take it on over to their shuttle. And unless there's anything else that you all want to do, they'll all get on the shuttle and leave.
Would it be safe to assume that in transit there was just enough time for Alice to kind of give that android a once over and
Sure.
just kind of like glean whatever information he could off of it?
Yeah, is there anything in particular that you're looking for, information-wise?
Probably just like, I guess the construction of it would be kind of like his number one priority, like how the brain interacts with the tech side of it.
Gotcha. It's loud. So yeah, as you look over it, the android itself is a pretty standard, like, military battle android, essentially, for lack of a better term. And the brain sort of interfaces through sort of a strange looking device that's in the head where it connects to the brain stem, essentially. And it looks like it kind of functions as a translator from brain electrical signals to signals that the android body can, interpret and understand. But the brain's kind of like hardwired into the body through that part of the helmet, or not the helmet, the headpiece.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you wanted to try to learn about it aside from that?
Does there seem to be like outwardly any construction that seems to be particularly new or shiny in comparison to what they've seen androids made of before?
They do seem to be like pretty nice in that, like, they're all brand new parts. It's the latest model of all the different parts. A lot of the components are Visco brand components, or at least like the same design without the brand on it, kind of a thing. Aside from that, there's really not a whole lot different about the android itself, aside from just the fact that there's a brain in the head instead of a computer.
Okay. And then I think it's probably safe to say that, like, in transit before they actually got here, Alice probably just snapped a few pictures of that piece in the back of the head in particular.
Okay.
So he just took like general photos, and of course he still has the footage. I would say he took also a copy of that footage that he handed off to Lily. It was Lily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So just kind of general stuff like that. But other than that, I think that's probably it for him.
Okay. Then yeah, you were absolutely able to get that information and figure that out. And then yeah, with that, the Quent's representative takes the android onto the shuttle, and they get ready to take off. Doesn't seem to be any double crossing or anything like that happening this time. At least from Quince's side, is the crew of the Definitely Not a Cop going to do anything on your end?
No, they're cool.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like I wasted my bomb now, but
You still have it. Like, you
I have it. I mean, I
for it.
know. It's just like they're like, oh, I was planning on doing horrible things to your code, your entire setup.
You can still try.
We had a pleasant experience. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
I mean, because they're a giant evil corporation, there's always that motivation.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we're the lesser of evils type scenario right now.
Yeah, how
That's
bad
fair.
is this? How bad the situation in the Galactic is if the Microsoft is the up and up guys.
but having one evil mega corporation that doesn't hate us,
I'll take it.
not exactly a bad thing, you know?
Plus,
fair.
they'll kill each other anyway.
That's what I was gonna
Indeed.
say. If we get one evil mega corporation to focus on another evil mega corporation, then that's
And technically,
Working for us.
we've already done a lot of posing mega corporations at each other. Yeah, we're gonna mess stuff up pretty royal.
I also just assumed that that guy was going to leave the file on the table for Alice, and as he was leaving, one of his bodyguards would just be like, boss, you forgot something.
No, they've seen this interaction enough to know to just ignore that
one
it
of the
exists.
one of the new guys doesn't know, and he's just
Oh,
like, oh
God.
shit, you forgot.
They're just like, damn it, Stanley, we went over this last week. I was out
Alice
sick
would
that day.
probably have to kill that guy. Just be like, whoops.
Holy shit, Ryan, read the room.
Oh my god.
I love
So
it.
yeah, surprisingly, at least for me, your meeting with Quince goes off without the slightest bit of a hitch.
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I need to go and attach my skeeter bomb to something. Just
You absolutely can attempt to do so. But yeah, it goes off without a hitch. The shuttle leaves. Nothing gets shot at you. You just have Captain Stryker there, kind of looking at you like, so what now? And you've got a bunch of money.
The second half of your
Yeah.
payment will be wired to you.
He says, all right, that sounds great.
Good night.
Not that I don't trust you or anything, but no, I could just hang out with you here and until that second half's, shows it's coming over.
Understandable. Ambrose just uses his own communicator thing or smart whatever he has pad to wire it over.
Perfect. He looks at his little tablet and goes, all right, awesome. Pleasure doing business with all of you. He looks at Skeeter like, call me about that code thing.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry at all, buddy.
He looks at Alice and says, just call me, and winks. And then looks over at Ambrose and like, definitely call me. Sort of
You got it.
backs out of the room, keeping eye contact with Ambrose before spinning around and going upstairs.
Before he completely disappears, so just like half out the door, turning around, Alice speaks a little more loudly, so that he knows that this guy hears him. He's like, damn, way to go and not make a guy feel special. And then just to Ambrose, it's like, come on, man.
There's a sort of a call down the stairwell of him just going, hey, threesomes can still be very special. And with that, he's gone.
Ambrose looks at Alice and just like winks at him.
That gets a little chuckle out of him.
But then
That's
Skeeter
hilarious.
winks at Alice because it seems like what everybody's doing at this point. Wink!
I love that.
Shoots a wink gif over the comms.
I was gonna say Ambrose is like, I didn't know you could do that.
Wink. Never tried. Apparently, this thing's got more articulations than I knew.
So, with that, is there anything else that you would like to do, or are you cool to fast forward a little bit to see some of the results, or shall we say consequences of your actions?
Look, here comes a consequence.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions?
Exactly.
I know that Skeeter's going to eat all that code.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little smorgasbord. Takes some time to process it. That's not true. It's just sort of let it settle because he doesn't actually process things because he's just a wad of angry coding.
Fair enough. With that, yeah, you basically get access to a lot of SME like secured systems codes. Quid's just sort of handed you their like backdoor key to a lot of the stuff that they set up specifically for SME.
Oh boy.
Like you can tell it won't necessarily access literally everything in the corporation, but there's a good chance on any ship there's going to be at least something that's running on this code.
And there's enough.
Oh, yeah.
But you just access, and then you just sort of jam a skeeter bomb in there, and then it's there you go.
Yeah. And notably, SME is the one that's fighting Vizco, so
Yeah.
be rather interesting. Anything else before we learn the consequences of our actions?
Where is the crew of the Lagrange?
The actual crew or the Trash Panda mock crew?
The actual crew. Where
Good
are
luck
they
tracking
sitting?
them.
I believe
Alice doesn't need to know specifically. Like, I'm not asking for a pinpoint location. This is more for player knowledge. Where are we sitting?
Where did we leave off?
That's what I was just trying to remember. I think
Shoot.
it was. You were just leaving Mars.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Spending some time with the cryptid.
Yep.
Yeah, we
And-
got some photos of the cryptid, and then Rip came and decided to be our buddy
Yep.
Right.
And you were off trying to figure out what to do about that.
after shooting our doctor.
Yep.
Right.
Actually trying to warn you about the things that you've discovered here in Violentas. So probably somewhere in the Sol system getting into trouble.
Okay.
We're all caught up in our feelings, okay?
I can't remember if Annie ever asked Alice about like specifically the brain androids. Do you remember? Did she ever send him a message about that?
I think she was going to, like, at
yeah.
the end of the season.
Okay.
I think so.
If the
So maybe he got that message
timelines-
now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the timelines kind of match up, then I will have Alice forward his information and the copies of the stuff that that he sent off to Lily. I'm gonna forward that over to Sentis
Okay.
so that they know what they're walking into.
Perfect.
Ambrose is gonna contact Stanley
Okay.
and say, so, what do you know about running a business?
Oh, hey, Reverend. Well, as you know, before coming to join your compound, I was junior executive over at such and such company, which was a subsidiary of that company whose name I can't think of off the top of my head.
You heard of Holistico, Stanley?
Holistico. That was a subsidiary of Quince, wasn't it?
Not anymore, it ain't.
I see.
It's mine.
Oh, he worked at PhilCorp. That was the one I was trying to think of. The
Gotcha.
the Intuit of this galaxy,
Gotcha.
but like on steroids.
Oof. Well, it's mine now, and we're gonna integrate it into our conversion.
Noted. I will make preparations right away.
Fantastic. It'll be about a month.
Good to know. And are we doing the standard practice with the normal ratio of profits that we're moving into the primary account, and then and you can hear the air quotes in the tone, the backup account?
Yes. Same amount.
All right, I will get right on that.
Oh, and have funeral arrangements been done for the people lost during the raid?
Yes, that is actually happening next weekend. We didn't want to do it too early and kind of put a damper on the whole insert name of whatever you want it to be called, festival.
Haroldween.
Haroldween.
Yes.
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 You know, we weren't sure that we wouldn't be able to tell if people were wearing black for their costume or black because, mourning. We figured it's best to wait.
Right. Well, I'll see if I can make it back for those ceremonies. Be there for my people.
The congregation would absolutely appreciate that.
I know they would. That's all, Stanley. Carry on.
I love that we just started calling him Stanley Tucci now. It's not the guy that looks like Stanley Tucci. It's just is
No,
Stanley Tucci.
he is Stanley Tucci. I've decided. He's a clone. He just got cloned.
Well, I was thinking just Stanley Tucci was just immortal, and
He-
immortal. He keeps falling
Maybe.
under like really, really bad times. He's just like, well, okay, I'm working for a cult now, so it's just what happens.
Hey, he's compensated.
You know?
That's true.
I know.
He doesn't have to work in the IPA factory.
It's true, but he used to be Stanley Tucci. That's the thing there.
Yeah, true.
But with computer graphics replacing live actors anyway, probably soon.
Yeah, I mean,
he needs
Stanley
to-
Tucci is still in movies. It's very confusing.
Yeah. All right. Well then, unless there's anything else, we'll fast forward a little bit.
Yep.
There is one quick little thing
Mhm.
that I wanted to do with Skeeter, with whatever his cut of money is, and by that I mean he's probably just going to figure out some way to get convince the Reverend to give him money. He's going to use those to get a bunch of those command programs that he couldn't get, the ones that are proprietary through Shady and maybe less Shady, because if it's
Okay.
connected to, because even if it's in the thing, he can take it out, even if it's the proprietary one, because he can just take it out and break it down, because that's what he does. So he's just buying a bunch of random stuff and then using to get the fancier, more illegal things. He's going through, black market contracts. But that's what he's using. Whatever his share of the money is, that and ship modification and maintenance.
Okay.
So yeah,
Ambrose would say, "You can have the money, just don't trace it back to me."
why would I do that?
I'm not
And-
saying you would. I'm just asking you don't.
Okay, no, I can. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
So, and with the amount of money that you've been given for all this stuff, and your business, you're not in the top 1%, but you're in like the top maybe 20%, which is still way more money than the vast majority of people in the galaxy know what to do with.
Good.
But we got ideas.
Yeah.
Skeeter got a lot of ideas.
You know what my headcanon is?
Hmm.
The skin lampshade lamp.
Yeah.
Ambrose is the one who wanted it.
Oh my god. The skin lamp. I forgot about that.
Oh my
So-
god.
For any that
Ambrose.
don't know, in Absentis there was a heist episode where the crew had to steal a lamp that the lampshade was made out of human skin.
And didn't we decide that it looks like the lamp from A Christmas Story?
Yeah.
The leg.
Yeah, the
Leg.
the lamp itself is also the leg from the Christmas Story lamp.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. It makes me happy.
It was a whole thing. So yes, the fact if for Ambrose to be the one that wanted that lamp, that would be incredible.
Yeah, he put out the request for the mercenary stealing the lamp.
I love that.
It's
And
in the compound.
that's perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, in essence, to put it in modern standards, you are multimillionaires.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, it sounds like that's everything. So we'll fast forward to the consequences of our actions. And I was just realizing we never actually took a break, but I think we're close enough to the end here that we can skip the break if y'all are good with that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, fast forwarding a bit, consequences of our actions. After probably about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a little over a month, there are some news broadcasts that go out, to announcing that Pillar Pharmaceuticals has joined the fight against Vizco, joining forces with SME, and in a shocking turn of events for most of the galaxy, but not for you all, Quince has sided with Vizco. So now Quince and Vizco are fighting SME and Pillar, leaving only Philcor and Pezos as the only corporate council corporations who are not in the war. So, yeah, basically you started the galactic equivalent of a world war.
Oops.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That means things are getting a lot dicier. There's a definite lapse of services when it comes to computers, healthcare, things like that. Excuse me, the manufacturing of electronics is also making supplies kind of sparse in certain areas of the galaxy, which has created a brand new black market for stockpiles of parts, software, things like that. And
I know where Skeeter is.
piracy is making a resurgence in the galaxy as people are having to...
Never mind, I know where Skeeter is.
that was beautiful. So yeah, over the next couple of months, you start to see that kind of play out, where Vizco fighting has created a manufacturing shortage. Quince fighting has created a services shortage, as their servers or broadcast satellites, things like that, get targeted. Swanson Mineral and Electric means some places on some planets get hit in the power grid, which leads the way for some smaller companies that are into like self-contained energy sources to start to get ahead. And Pillar Pharmaceuticals, being in the war, they're fighting Vizco, but they're also playing both sides with supplies, which makes for some really interesting and kind of sticky situations where Pillar is concerned. But it does create a shortage in some areas on pharmaceuticals and drugs and that sort of thing. So all in all, it makes the galaxy a very interesting, very different place. While Philcor and Pezos kind of capitalize on the whole thing, because Pezos is in shipping and storage, and Philcor is in finances, and they own all the banks. So, yeah, you all have created a very interesting galactic state.
Yay.
Looks like we lost B. Hopefully he'll be back here shortly. But with that information, I would like to give you all a chance to kind of talk about what your character does from here. How does that knowledge impact what your character does from here on out, or at least for the foreseeable future? Let's start with Ambrose.
Ambrose probably goes back to his compound, helps rebuild it and everything because it got probably pretty badly damaged. Get all his farms and orchards reestablished and stuff like that. Starts running the Holistico, introduces his people to it, and teaches them that the best way to get people to join us is to show them these amazing natural products that have nothing to do with technology, and once they change their life, they'll realize that, oh, these people are so happy because they live this lifestyle and they'll want to join you. And also, we have a severe vendetta against Pillar.
Okay.
Like, we might kill them. No form of pharmaceutical from them is allowed.
Okay.
Anywhere. If you die, dang, you die. But we have a lot of like natural remedies and stuff for things, but yeah, for the most part, he just runs things from his compound, doesn't leave as much, and watches the amazing shit he stirred.
As much as it's, I feel terrible saying this. That probably is super effective at getting membership in the cult and in the MLM stuff.
Yeah. How did the Mars branch get started?
Oh yeah. It's a little slow going. A lot of the Martians are kind of set in their way a bit, but it is growing.
Some Holistico stuff to sell.
Yeah, the Holistico part like helps with the membership there.
Yeah, and I'm sure I send them money and resources as they need it.
Yeah. So Ambrose is largely successful in his giant con game, essentially.
Yay!
Becoming an even more horrible person.
Yahoo! Oh, and he invites Captain Striker for an orgy.
Fantastic. He arrives with bells on, both figuratively and literally.
Beautiful. I love that for him.
How about Android McGee?
Android McGee probably. I mean, probably. That's given. Won't help. And Skeeter and the Reverend and Alice in whatever they would need a ship for. I mean, it's not like Android wants to run a ship, like he wants to be a part of a crew. So would Skeeter remain as the captain of the ship? And
Oh yeah, Skeeter's definitely staying with the ship, and I would imagine, particularly with all the various command codes and stuff that he's gotten, he's integrated himself real deep into the ship systems, so he can do a lot of the running of the ship.
Yeah, and that kind of checks out with what I sort of planned for Android anyway, because then whatever Android would be in charge of interacting with humans more, interacting with people like passengers or guests of whoever is using the ship.
Yeah.
And so that means sooner or later I would see the error of my ways with that corn syrup artificial stuff.
Awesome.
And then probably become proficient in preparing tea and coffee. So what would you apart of integrating with the ship, what would you like to do with the ship be?
That's actually one of the, like, at this point, most of what's like the two things that are really going to be driving Skeeter right now are what he sees as sort of his personal evolution, which is getting more of these machine codes, processing them, being able to do more, possibly even have different chassis that he could use for different, like have those set up for different situations there. But as like a broader sense, I'm not entirely certain. I think I don't know how it would go, but at some point he'd probably ask Alice, like, you seem like you got like opinions on stuff and what folks should be doing, and mostly I just know how to make things move and steal police cruisers. So you got any ideas of what I should be doing?
Unaffiliated agents of chaos.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that having him basically an agent of chaos, either for hire or for people he likes, or the original crew, like anybody in the original crew, even the Reverend. Like if the Reverend were to call him up and say, "Hey, I need you to make things very painful for whoever," he'd be like, "All right," and then we would go and just be an agent of chaos and wreck stuff. But also it'd be like perhaps for hire, work with some of these other groups there. But I think just sort of a mobile chaos, directable chaos.
I like that. All right, and what about Alice? Where does Alice go from here?
So Alice, typically before kind of joining this crew, he was he was just kind of floating around. He works mainly by himself, kind of funneling information through people like the Trash Pandas. So for him to take this little detour, this little adventure was kind of new to him. I think if Skeeter and Android are kind of staying as a unit, then I think, especially because Skeeter is looking to kind of cause that chaos and do whatever he can to kind of stir the shit pot, basically. I think Alice would take some time to kind of really explain to him like what it is that he does with the Trash Pandas and like what kind of life he leads, to see if that's something that Skeeter would be interested in sticking around for. Because if that's the case, then Alice can kind of just stay with Skeeter and Android and kind of work based off that. If not, he can kind of go his own way. He's not too beat up about that. But
well, I think because Alice is one of those where it's like original crew falls under the I like this person. And you also have like more direct thing, as long as there was also the occasionally like the, oh hey, we're running low on funds for or whatever, let's have somebody hire us to blow something up or use that as a cover for other stuff or whatever. But being like I think having Alice there as an agent of chaos and as some sort of, and having some more direction than just like, I don't know, let's just blow shit up. Because that tends to get me blown up a little bit, I have noticed traditionally. I think he'd definitely appreciate that.
Alice just becomes the new old Skeeter.
Yes.
Android needs somebody to actually like appreciate his efforts in team making and coffee brewing and stuff. So
Skeeter can say, look, that's exactly like what the video did. Good job. But that's not really the same as an appreciation.
I think it kind of falls back to the idea of, Raven, do you remember when I wrote kind of like that alternate universe little scene where Annie brought Android back, the original Android, to Alice, and he kind of kept caring for her over the years? I kind of feel like it falls sort of into that area where Alice is kind of like this keeper, because he's got a really good foundation in not only tech but also mech engineering. So I feel like he's kind of just overseeing this little ragtag now group that he has, where he'll keep up on the mechanical parts of like Android, or if Skeeter needs anything, help with anything like that.
Probably
that
help build
kind
some
of
of the chassis and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So while he's able to do whatever he's doing, basically Alice is the equivalent of work from home. He doesn't have to be anywhere physically like significant to be able to do what he does, or to help the trash pandas with what they do. So to be able to just like take up the ship and go wherever they need to go, like that doesn't bother him. So I think just kind of overseeing these companions of his now, and doing his job wherever he needs to go, I think that's perfectly fine for him.
Well, I'd imagine that at certain points, like particularly Skeeter could be incredibly useful in some of that intel brokering and gathering. I mean, when you get somebody who can like hammer through firewalls with ridiculous, nonsensical bioweapons.
Also, I just really like the thought of Annie contacting Alice and being like, "We need help," and Alice being like, "I'll send Skeeter."
Yes.
I feel
And
like
then
we could bring
definitely
Skeeter
not
into
a
an
cop
episode.
with its flames and wizard mural on the side rolls in.
Pretty much, yeah. I feel like we could definitely bring Skeeter into like an episode of Violentas where he just shows up and he's like, "Yes, Alice sent me."
Alright, so
He comes in, causes shit for an episode, and then leaves, and everybody's like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yep.
But yeah, so that's what I think Alice falls into. He kind of just capitalizes as much as he can off the information that he was able to gather with this crew, and hopefully that helps the Absentis crew and helps kind of cause that little extra bit of rocking the boat. He's looking forward to essentially destabilize these big corporations, because he may or may not have a personal vendetta to follow, but that's neither here nor there. He's doing the work that he can, and that's good enough for him.
So destabilizing is something that Skeeter is very, very good at. If we have learned nothing from this entire campaign, Skeeter is very good at destabilizing things.
That is
and
true.
Of course, Alice will always appreciate the tea that Android McGee makes. So you need to have a human on the ship to be able to really utilize those abilities.
Fantastic.
And I think also Skeeter needs some regular reminding that not all organics are garbage.
Yeah,
It's fair.
Kind of leans that way sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
we need some good organics for our endeavors.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention as well. So the sponsoring an android soldier thing. Once that footage leaks out, showing exactly where they come from and what they are.
Oh no! Did we crash this equivalent of NFTs? Like we caused the entire market to explode?
Some interesting things happen to it. So, just as humanity has a great potential for good and awfulness today, that continues into the future, and you have a lot of people who are staunchly against it, and a lot of people, mostly those who are in your equivalent tax bracket now, that you are multimillionaires equivalents in this setting, are all for it. So
Of course.
you end up with a definite like class separation between who is for and against it, mostly. So yeah, that's kind of where that lands.
Oh, I have a quick question. Did because it was a live stream, did the Skeeter become some sort of viral star? Because that would make me so happy.
Probably. They're probably like the Twitch equivalent. There's probably like new Skeeter emotes
Yes.
on there and things like that, and lots of memes generated from that stream.
Ambrose wants to find a way to create the Hunger Games, but instead of being the poor people having to fight for the rich people's entertainment, it'll be reversed.
That's amazing.
And what does Stanley Tucci have to say about this?
He's here for it so long as he doesn't have to compete.
Yeah.
To which case, Ambrose kindly reminds him, "You're not rich enough." No.
And he probably
Rich
would,
enough here is me, and I thought it up. So
he would probably be like, right, what was the amount for the cutoff for that? Okay,
Whatever I say it is.
I'll make certain I make slightly less than that.
yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good spot to wrap it up for all of that. One thing I do want to mention, because Par's not here to talk about Maximilian, I think based on what Par has said, Maximilian probably becomes a wine mogul with his winery. And I think
I'll be honest, I thought that he was just going to be drunk in one of the bedrooms for the rest of
he just stays on the ship and nobody knows he's
stays
there.
on the ship and just
I mean,
drunk in the back until his eventual death.
I mean, possibly also yes.
¿Por qué no las dos? Like,
yeah. I could also see that. And I know Par had mentioned something about Maximilian's kids. So I can't remember if it was wanting to see them and get them involved or what it was off the top of my head, but whatever that was, something involving Maximilian's kids, whatever Par would like to happen there happens as well. But definitely the winery becomes very successful.
good for him.
Yeah, you can pour millions of dollars into it, anything can become successful.
True.
That is very true. So yeah, I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. So that was a lot of fun. You've broken the galaxy. Congratulations.
Woo!
My work here is done. I can fade into the west.
Right off into the sunset.
You broke the post-capitalism society, so also good job. Well, it's breaking. You struck the first really big blow.
Hey.
Oh no!
Peter hasn't had a lot of time yet. Give him time.
Oh no, our capitalism. It's broken.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so with that, we're gonna do our outros. Let everybody say what their favorite part of the session and season was, where we can find them, and anything they want to share or plug. We'll go reverse from how we did the intro, so we'll start with Goody.
Let's see here. My favorite part of the session was Captain Stryker. He's weird. I like him.
I am so glad. I've been sitting on this NPC for a while, and I'm very excited to bring them in, and I was very excited to introduce them. They'll definitely be in Absentus as well.
Oh, good. They'll love him or hate him too. So yeah, definitely favorite part of the session was Captain Stryker. Favorite part of the season, other than just playing with all of you, because that was amazing, was I haven't had the opportunity to play a bad guy before, and it was a lot of fun and hard to play a bad guy. Because a lot of times it's like, oh my gosh, don't do that. That's so dickish. But then it's like, but that's what he would do. So it was really fun though to play someone so not even morally gray, just morally black, just bad.
Reprehensible.
Reprehensible.
Yeah.
Just a bad person. Just ew. Like you don't get a redemption arc. Ew. But like, just it was fun to be the bad guy.
Awesome.
For the sake of being the bad guy.
It is a lot of fun.
It really is.
Awesome. And then anything else to share?
I'll be in Absentis next season.
Awesome. Then we'll hop down to Econorlax. What was your favorite part of the session, the season, and where can folks find you? Anything you want to share, Blake?
My favorite moment of the game was Rumba being mentioned. I was like, I thought for a moment like, oh, you done goofed
And I was like,
up.
oh
But-
no, Skeeter's gonna
But
kill him.
Yeah, the deal turned out to be very cool, so I think Skeeter accepted this. I mean, maybe Skeeter probably didn't pay enough attention to it because Skeeter lives in the moment.
Indeed. I think he also may have given him some sort of like parking tickets or a warrant, or downloaded something questionable onto his everythings. Just like
Something
love
petty.
the Roomba.
Tom would actually probably find that really funny.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of the entire season was actually Skeeter. Entirely. That
Aw.
title that goes entirely to Skeeter because Skeeter was something I did not expect.
I'm pretty good at that.
And it was it and what you were doing with this character was constantly entertaining. But also the honorable mention goes to Dice because Dice helped you a lot with Skeeter being
That's true. That's very true.
who they were.
Yeah, there's a lot of very good roles.
Well, good roles, of course, being in the air quotes.
Yeah.
So, as for the stuff to plug, oh yeah, I will be on Milady Sito's channel on, I don't know what the day of the week it is, 22nd.
Nice.
22nd, same time this game is, so 6 p.m. Mountain. Yeah, 6 p.m. Mountain.
Awesome. Then next would be Par. Definitely go check out his Twitter at Par Professional. He does a podcast. Eddie's really cool. He'll be back next season for one or more shows. My brain's a little fried. I can't remember who all's in what, but I know he's going to be in a show next season. So go check out his Twitter for info on that. And then next we'd have V. What was your favorite part of the session, the season? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Favorite part of the session. Yeah, I would probably have to agree that Striker was really interesting. And I am excited to see them in the next season. I almost kind of feel bad that Seattle's not going to be there to take advantage of that.
Oh,
that might be like critical mass of two.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's good.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been a recipe for disaster. But I'm a little bit sad not to see it happen because, train wrecks and can't look away and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
As for the season itself, just getting to see everybody's characters develop a little bit more, and all like the weird turns and just the kooky things that everybody's gotten up to. It was really nice to be able to play Alice. I know I kind of dipped out, took a break for a little while there, but just kind of getting to see him in action after just talking about him in Absentis was really nice. So I'm excited to see if he can help us out next season like he's been doing. And maybe if he'll send Skeeter our way. But as for myself, for next season, I will be here Saturdays again for more Absentis. We're taking a break on Star Wars. And what about our Ghost game, Raven? Are we still doing that next season, or are we taking a break on that one as well?
It'll be sporadic. I do plan to do some one shots on Wednesdays, which will include
Okay.
Black Feather investigations, but it'll be a little more sporadic than it's been.
Sweet.
But
Yeah, okay. In
it'll
that
be
case,
around.
cool. In that case, next season I will be here reliably on Saturdays for Obsetis. And then maybe sprinkled in, I'll play some Julie for the Ghost game, because I love Julie and she's really fun and great. And I think she's one of the most fun characters that I've thrown together for things. But yeah, and then you can find me on my art Twitter, which is at PepperoJaws. That's Pepper like candy. That's it for me.
All right. Next, B. What was your favorite part of the session season? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Okay, my favorite moment of the session was there's several that people already said that also kind of were up there, but it was the moment after the guy left, where we were all looking at each other, just kind of like, wait, did that go well? That went well, right? That's what happened. That went well. Yeah, like just like this profound confusion. Like, do we shoot at them now? Like, is that what I don't know. What do we do in this situation? I think my favorite. I'm gonna say two things for my favorite parts in the whole game. The first one, I think it was from the very first, the first of the second session. The moment and the moment and the moment and the look on the Reverend's face when Skeeter made himself captain. That was one of my favorite things. It was like, Captain Skeeter, may I go over to the navigation console? Oh yeah, no, sure, yeah, all right, it's all good. There, but I think my biggest favorite was actually Android. Because one, I realize now that in some ways it was kind of a dick move, but just like throwing a complete curveball at the character. but you just rolled with it so well, and watching him evolve and watching Android become who he wanted to be, not what he was like compelled to be by his programming. That was just awesome. That was so cool.
Yeah, there are no curveballs for androids because it's either in the programming or it isn't. So
yeah,
I mean, rolling, being a program and rolling with stuff is simply like natural.
Yeah, but like I said, I loved watching Android evolve over time. That was just my favorite. Next season, I'm going to be on the Friday morning games. We're in the Avatar game. I'm going to be playing a 13-year-old earthbending luchador because that's what I do. I just make completely bizarre characters and then just force everyone else to roll with my choices. It's who I am as a person. The Neon Devils thing, webcomic, there's the link. You can also, if you have like the Webtoon app and just search Neon Devils, we'll show up. We're the only one there. It's getting good. It's moving along. As for finding me, put out bait. Just put some bait out. Maybe get some big like bear traps or something. Just I tend to like pudding and like a really high quality, like a hand dipped corn dog. Like that's the stuff right there. That's how you're gonna find me.
Good to know. That just leaves me. My favorite part of the session. I also enjoyed all your reactions to Captain Tom Stryker. As I've said, I've been sitting on that character for a little bit now, and was very excited to actually introduce them in a streamed game. And then everybody's paranoia, which was also just a lot of fun to mess with. So you go inside, right, and everybody be like, Why are you asking if we're going inside? It's just fun, and getting to like give you all a negotiation that went swimmingly without any problems, and watching your reaction at the end of just like, wait, what? I have too much fun with that sometimes. Favorite part of the season, absolutely watching the characters develop, and the sheer amount of chaos that you all threw into the story and the world. And it's also great that like we have over 50 episodes of Absentis world building, and just building stuff up and establishing things. And it was really fun to watch this group just like set a lot of that on fire and smash it in a weirdly constructive way. Constructive destruction. It was fantastic. This was a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this whole campaign. And then where you can find me next, this is officially the end of this season for the Blackfeather Guild. So you won't see me here again until January, unless I happen to do the occasional like video game stream or something like that. But the next time you should actually see me should be January 11th. That'll be our first streamed session of a Fae-based D&D campaign. And then that'll be right back here. And then Friday, the 14th, over on our YouTube channel, we'll have the first episode of our Avatar game, and the first episode of Welcome to Madison, the number 2. It's our second Welcome to Madison campaign, which is a surreal horror. It's really, really fun. And pretty much the entire crew from the last... words are hard. Pretty much the entire cast from the last campaign is in it, along with a couple of new faces. So it'll be a lot of fun. And then on Saturdays, back here at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, starting on the 15th, we'll actually that'll probably be starting on the 8th of January. We will have Animus Absentis back. So that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's where you'll find me next. Other things to share or plug is our sponsors, which are in chat. Fundamental RPG, it's what we've been using to play this game. It's what we use for the other Animus campaign. The ghost hunting game, it is a D20 system. It's not tied to a genre, so you can really use it to play literally anything that you would want. It's incredibly versatile. It looks like this, and you can pick up your own copy on Amazon, or if you prefer a PDF version, you can pick that up at coffee.com/raven, like it's spelled at the bottom and top left-hand corners of the screen. I also highly recommend Die Hard Dice over at dieharddice.com. They sell incredible polymer and metal dice sets and accessories. I use them almost exclusively in my dice bag. And then if you use the code Animus with a capital A, you can get 10% off of your entire order. And then I highly recommend checking out the Avalor, Isa, or Issa Lifeblood set. It's really pretty. There's a link straight to that in chat. And if you want to catch up on this show or any others that we've have had on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. And over on our YouTube channel, just search for Blackfeather Guild, and it should be the first thing that pops up. And as mentioned, you'll want to make sure you subscribe and hit the alert button, as we've got 2 exclusive YouTube exclusive streams next season, which starts in January. Both of those will be on Friday. And then for other stuff, cool things to look forward to. I'm doing less shows next season, for partly for health reasons and partly for having more time to dump into tabletop book preparing, because I hope at some point during the next year to have a Kickstarter or equivalent out for the Water series, which we've had a couple of seasons of that on the channel. It's a sci-fi water planet survival sort of game, and also a full tabletop book for this setting of Animus. So things to look out for next year. At some point, I'll be talking more about that on my Twitter as things get closer to fruition there. And I think that's about it for me. So we're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna go raid Milady Saito, who's doing I believe it's the 11 DMs of Christmas. So a different DM, different one shot every day until Christmas.
Wait, aren't you running one of the games?
I am actually. I forgot to mention that. Thank you for the reminder. Tuesday at I think it's 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time is when we're actually starting. Yes, I am running a one shot there, which is basically going to be the party will be elves, like Santa's elves that get reassigned through a paperwork snafu to be Krampus's minions. They're going to have to try to figure out how to blend in and get the paperwork fixed to get back to where they're supposed to be. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, that is everywhere that you can find me coming up next. But we're going to go raid Saito. Go say hi. Give her a follow if you're not doing so already. Then I will see you all over there on Tuesday. And then back here next year, starting the January 8th, I think it was. Bye, everybody.